Have you ever wondered why your mom seems to dislike you for no clear reason? Do you feel there's something stopping you from connecting with her? You've faced many challenges, believing the real problems were outside. But the challenge you didn't expect came from someone who should have been your strongest supporter, your mom. Home, where you should feel safe and loved, can have hidden conflicts. This struggle is with the person who brought you into this world. As you strive to succeed, the resistance doesn't come from the outside world, but from your mom. This conflict is especially painful because it comes from someone you trusted completely. These aren't just minor disagreements. They are rooted in something deeper. It's not about blaming all mothers, but recognizing that sometimes the person who gave you life can also cause the most pain. Some mothers remain stuck in a childish mindset, never fully growing into the parent role. Instead of showing care, they lash out, using their child as a target for their frustration, envy, and anger. Many have suffered from having a toxic mother, growing up where love was conditional, given for obedience, and taken away for independence. They were ridiculed for their dreams, burdened by their mother's failures, and made to feel they were the problem. This behavior isn't just harsh. It's a psychological issue disguised as motherhood. These mothers are deeply wounded, but instead of healing, they inflict their pain on those they should protect. They might sabotage your successes, break your confidence, and isolate you from others while pretending to care. For some, it gets darker. Some mothers, desperate for control, turn to extreme actions like casting spells or using witchcraft against their children. They resort to dark practices to keep their children tied to their own misery. These aren't just petty acts of jealousy. They're deliberate moves in a battle that's been going on since you were born. It's about your spirit, and the battlefield is the relationship you thought was secure. The truth is hard to accept, but clear. Some mothers aren't just difficult. They can be harmful. Jealousy can destroy a relationship. And when it comes from your own mother, the betrayal feels even deeper. For many mothers, watching their children succeed in areas where they struggled is unbearable. Your achievements can feel like a mirror reflecting their own failures, a reminder of the paths they didn't take or dreams they let go. Instead of celebrating, they resent you. They see in you the potential they once had but never realized, and that realization can turn dark. Children who have built successful careers or found happiness can become targets of their mother's envy. You might think that by achieving more, you're honoring your mother's sacrifices, but instead, you find yourself in a silent battle. Your achievements become reminders to her of the life she never lived, and that's when the facade of unconditional love starts to crack. To her, your success isn't something to celebrate together. It feels like a personal attack. She didn't make the same choices or have the same opportunities, and now sees your achievements as a judgment on her own life. The person who should be your biggest supporter can become someone who undermines you, questions your achievements, and tries to pull you back down. This isn't just about jealousy. It's about trying to regain a sense of control she feels she lost when you became more successful. In this twisted dynamic, your greatest achievements can become weapons used against you. The person you thought would always be there for you ends up causing your deepest wounds. You may have felt it. The constant pressure from a mother who sees herself as the center of every story, including yours. Narcissism isn't just a personality flaw. It's a force that takes over everything around it, including your potential. Narcissistic mothers don't just want love and respect. They want control over every part of your life. They want you trapped in the same cycles of failure and regret they experienced, to keep their illusion of power. But when you start breaking free, finding your own path, and succeeding on your terms, their love turns to resentment. They begin to despise you for achieving what they couldn't, for daring to step outside the boundaries they set for you. This isn't the natural order, where children grow and eventually surpass their parents. For them, your success feels like a threat to their identity, a reminder that their control was never absolute. In their view, you're not supposed to succeed where they failed. You're supposed to follow in their footsteps, not rise above them. When you refuse to be bound by their failures and break free from their negativity, they retaliate. They try to drag you back into their darkness. They see your independence not as growth, but as rebellion against the fantasy world they've created. This is the toxic reality. Mothers who should nurture and guide you instead become obstacles to overcome. They see your potential as a threat and your independence as a rejection of everything they stand for. And so, the cycle continues. A battle for control over who you are allowed to become. You've seen it, how she twists reality to maintain her grip on your life. This isn't overprotectiveness. It's a calculated effort to control you, to keep you small. She knows your weaknesses better than anyone and isn't afraid to use them against you. When you start to build a life that's truly yours, she steps in, not to support, but to sabotage. Many have watched their mothers try to strip away every bit of success they've earned. Relationships that could have flourished were poisoned by her whispers. Friendships that could have been meaningful were broken by her manipulations. Some have even lost custody of their children because their mothers couldn't bear to see them succeed as parents where they had failed. Think of the client who struggled with alcoholism, fighting every day to reclaim her life. Her mother, instead of supporting her, stocked the house with her favorite drink, pretending it was for relaxation. This wasn't kindness. It was a chain to keep her daughter dependent. Or the client who struggled with weight loss, making progress, only to have her mother bake her favorite pastries every weekend, knowing exactly how to hurt her. These weren't acts of love. They were acts of sabotage. This is the toxic trap. A mother who would rather see you fail and remain under her control than succeed and slip beyond her reach. She manipulates not out of concern, but out of fear. Fear that your success will make her seem irrelevant, that your independence will expose her failures. So she tightens her grip, feeds your vices, and slows your progress to keep you beneath her. You may have experienced it, the sudden end of promising relationships, leaving you heartbroken and wondering what went wrong. What if the source of your pain wasn't just bad luck or poor choices? What if the person who should be cheering for your happiness was quietly causing trouble? Every time you start a new relationship, there's excitement and hope. But soon, things start to fall apart. The bonds begin to fray, trust begins to crumble, and before long, you're left standing in the wreckage, confused and alone. Behind the scenes, there's a voice whispering poison into the ears of those you care about, your mother. The person who should be your biggest supporter has become the architect of your heartbreak. She talks behind your back, twisting truths into lies, casting doubt about your character, and feeding your partner's insecurities. To them, she seems like just a concerned parent. But to you, she's a saboteur, undermining your happiness with every word. Maybe she hints that you're not as committed as you seem, or that you have a history of leaving people behind. Her words are filled with concern, but designed to corrode the trust you've built. And when the relationship finally falls apart, she's there, not with comfort, but with a smug satisfaction, as if she's proven no one can have you but her. This is the envy of your relationships, a mother who cannot bear to see you happy or find love outside her influence. Her jealousy isn't just about your partners, but about the idea that anyone else could have a place in your heart. She sees your happiness as a betrayal, your love for another as a threat to the control she has fought so hard to maintain. And so, she destroys what she cannot have, leaving you to pick up the pieces again and again. The curse isn't yours. It's hers. You finally decide to take control of your life, heal the wounds that have festered for too long. You turn to spirituality, seeking peace and balance in a chaotic world. But just as you start to feel lighter, something pulls you back. Illness strikes without warning. Fatigue grips you, making even simple tasks feel impossible. Unexplained accidents happen, as if the universe itself is conspiring against you. But deep down, you know this isn't the universe at all. It's her. She's always been there, watching, the source of your suffering. She doesn't want you to heal, to grow, or to find peace because your healing threatens the control she has held over you. You've become a target, not just of her resentment, but of something far darker, her malevolent intent. She's turned to forces beyond the physical, casting spells and using dark energies to keep you chained to the misery she's cultivated. Your spiritual progress is a direct challenge to the power she's wielded over you, and she cannot allow it. The spells she casts aren't just superstitions. They're manifestations of her hatred, her desperate attempt to bind you to her twisted reality. As you try to cleanse your soul, she works to taint it, to drag you back into the darkness she inhabits. She's afraid of losing you, not out of love, but out of fear that without her, you'll discover a strength and freedom that leaves her feeling powerless and irrelevant. Every setback you face, every mysterious illness or accident, is her desperate attempt to maintain the control she senses slipping away. Your healing is her worst nightmare, a reminder that she can no longer dictate the terms of your existence. But you are stronger than she realizes, stronger than the darkness she wields. You've tasted the peace that comes from within, and no spell, no curse can take that from you. Her hatred is a testament to your power, your progress, and your inevitable victory. The path may be challenging, but it's yours, and no one, not even her, can take that away from you. There comes a moment, like the dawn breaking after a long, dark night, when the truth becomes clear. This is your awakening, the moment when you finally see, with painful clarity, that the person who should have been your protector has been your greatest enemy all along. The realization hits like a bolt of divine lightning, revealing the manipulation, the deceit, and the web of lies spun around you by the one who bore you. This realization isn't just a fleeting thought. It's a wave that sweeps away every doubt, every excuse you've made for her actions. What remains is the undeniable truth. Not everyone gets this kind of awakening. It's reserved for those who are chosen, those meant for something greater. You're not just any child. You are a beacon of light, and that light has always threatened her darkness. As you awaken to this truth, the balance of power shifts. You are no longer a victim of her control or a puppet in her game. You become the master of your own destiny, no longer shackled by her toxic influence that sought to keep you small and dependent. Your success and independence, the very qualities that sparked her jealousy and resentment, are the flames of your growth. They are signs that you are breaking free from the limitations she tried to impose. Every achievement, every step you take toward your own path, is another step away from her control. This is the power shift, the moment you reclaim your life, your identity, and your purpose. You are not just surviving, you are thriving, and it's this very thriving that drives her to desperation. But now, you see it for what it is, a reflection of her own failures and insecurities projected onto you. As you rise and step into the fullness of who you were always meant to be, her power over you crumbles. This is your awakening, your moment to break free and live not just in spite of her, but in defiance of every attempt she made to keep you down. You are chosen, and no one, not even her, can dim the light that is within you. The devil doesn't waste time on strangers or distant enemies. He targets those closest to you, those who know your strengths and weaknesses, your dreams and fears. And who knows you better than your own mother? The devil uses her, manipulating the bond that should be sacred, twisting it into a weapon to strike at the very heart of your success. This isn't an ordinary conflict. It's spiritual warfare. The devil's tactics are insidious, not because he sends obvious enemies your way, but because he uses those you trust, those you love, to derail you. He knows that a blow from a stranger can be easily dismissed, but a strike from your own mother cuts deep, leaving wounds that are slow to heal if they heal at all. The devil thrives on this intimacy, using her knowledge of you to craft the perfect traps. Traps designed to make you doubt yourself, to sap your strength, to keep you from fulfilling your destiny as one of the chosen. But now you see it, and seeing is the first step in breaking free. This is a spiritual battle, and your awareness is your shield. You must stay awake, stay vigilant, because the devil's attacks are relentless. He won't stop just because you've recognized his game. In fact, he'll double down, using every trick, every tactic to pull you back into the darkness. But you are not powerless. Your spiritual vigilance, your connection to the divine, is your greatest weapon. You must protect yourself, fortify your spirit, and stand firm against the toxic influences that seek to drag you down. This is where your strength is tested, where your true power is revealed. The devil's greatest fear is that you'll realize your own potential, that you'll break free from the chains he's tried to bind you with. And now that you see the truth, it's time to fight back. You were not made to be subdued by those who should love you. You were made to rise, to conquer, to fulfill the destiny that has been ordained for you. Stay spiritually vigilant. Protect yourself from these toxic influences. And never forget that in this battle, you are not alone. You are divinely supported, and you are destined to win. Not all mothers wield their influence like a weapon. Many are sources of love, strength, and unwavering support. But for those who have felt the sting of betrayal from the one who should have been their greatest ally, it's crucial to acknowledge the damage that's been done. You can't afford to sugarcoat or overlook the toxic behaviors that have undermined your growth and happiness. Your mother's actions, whether driven by jealousy, control, or something darker, have shaped your life in ways you're only beginning to fully understand. Now, with clarity in hand, you must confront the truth and take back the power that's rightfully yours. You've seen the effects in your daily life, the inexplicable failures, the relationships that crumble without cause, the constant feeling that something is holding you back. This isn't just coincidence. It's the result of a deliberate, often unconscious effort to keep you from rising above. But now that you see the patterns, now that you understand the why behind the how, you have the opportunity to break free, the power to change your story, to rewrite the narrative that's been imposed upon you, lies in your hands. This is your moment to take action, to step into the light that's been calling you all along. Don't let these experiences define you. Instead, use them as fuel for your own transformation. Your story is powerful, and by sharing it, you not only heal yourself, but also give others the courage to face their own hidden battles. If you've been through this, if you're still feeling the weight of this toxic influence, don't stay silent. Share this message with those who might be trapped in the same cycle, who need to hear that they're not alone.